Sorry about that. Alright, so did something. Forgot to hit record. We're gonna finish getting ready with me, I guess. So yeah, I got my eyelashes done because I wanted to be like halfway done with my makeup when I got out of bed. So, and I don't know why I'm making a big deal about it, because people are asleep when I'm with them. And I see one person at a time, between 1 to 2 hours at a time, and they are usually asleep or have their eyes closed. But you just do it anyway. You put in the effort, even when you don't feel like it. And I tell you what, I do not feel like it today. But that's what you do, even when you're depressed. You do it depressed, but you still do it. So, yeah. I said in my review video that I have been at this job only since the beginning of May. I lost my job at the OB office on May 3rd, and I started at this new job on May 7th. What's going on with that? And, you know, I didn't realize just how horribly unhappy I was until I was somewhere where, you know, it wasn't terrible. It was terrible. I was so miserable at that job. It was making my depression really, really bad. So, yeah. Getting fired probably was a good thing, because I could feel myself slipping, and I didn't want to slip. But, you know, something I learned while having, you know, mental illness over the years is you do it depressed. Yes, you're depressed, but you still get up and you do it. You do it depressed. Do it sad. It's like when you're working out. I'm already sore. Just do it sore. Sorry, I had to do this little card trick in the mirror for that. But, yeah, you do it sore. You do it tired. All these things they tell you, which is true, you know. Just do it. Although, I love my job. I love what I do. I'll be very honest. I'm very, very blessed that I get to do what I love. Not many people have that. Many people have a job. And that's just it for them. It's a job. They need a job. They go there, they earn money, pay for the life that they need, or start to pay for the life that they want, and only enjoy their life when they're on vacation and not at work, which is, you know, if that works for some people, great. But I wanted to be able to have a job where if I'm on vacation, I don't want to have, you know, dread about coming back to work. So, yeah. I had said it in my other video that I'm single. I'm putting myself out there for the first time in a while. That, getting out there has been really, really hard. I broke up with my ex almost a year ago. I threw him out of my house. Part of a story I'll elaborate on a little bit later was I was engaged, and my fiance passed away in 2020 from organ failure related to alcohol abuse. And it was very, very terrible and traumatic. I was with him when he went, and his family. And that is a grief and trauma that you never really, you don't get over grief. You get through it. You don't move on, you move different. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They say shit like, it's been XYZ amount of time, you should move on, and, you know, it's everything you can do not to smack the absolute crap out of them, because it's one of those things you don't know until you know. And, yeah. So putting myself out there was hard. And I met him, and he was great in a lot of ways. You know, we liked the same things. We were both into comic books and Marvel and DC and all that nerdy stuff. And, you know, we got each other's jokes and we could talk about all kinds of random dumb things. And he got me into Pokemon Go. And he was great in a lot of ways. He had a problem with alcohol abuse and nearly died little more than a year before we met. So he'd been in the hospital to have fluid drained out of his body because his body had been retaining fluid. And they took like 2 liters of excess fluid out of his body. And they said, if you drink like this again, you'll die. So he wasn't drinking, which is great because I'm sober. And him not drinking was great. It was a bonus because I didn't want that in my life. I didn't need that in my life. And we had a great time. We went to the Renaissance Fair. We went to Phoenix Fan Fusion, which we all know is Comic-Con, but we still gotta see Fan Fusion. He bought me a lightsaber. No guy's ever bought me a lightsaber before. Ex I was with for 3 years. Even though I bought him one from Kyberlight. Yeah. Didn't ever buy me a lightsaber. But, yeah, I got him a lightsaber. You know, he got me a lightsaber. And then, we went to Comic-Con. And that was when I realized I was going to kill him because of his weight. He had sleep apnea really, really bad. It kept me awake all night long. And I mean, like, literally all night. And then he had the nerve to be, like, falling asleep on his feet. I was kind of impressed that he never fell, actually. But, yeah. I'm going to try really hard not to fall back into the butt, I realize I do that a lot. So, things were going really well between us, actually. I found his favorite anime on DVD. He said he couldn't find it anywhere. It's hard to stream. Or he couldn't find it on streaming. He couldn't find it anywhere on a physical copy. I found it. I found his favorite anime. I got the DVD, complete DVD box set called Blue Seed. And actually was not easy to find. And it was kind of pricey, I won't lie. I found that for him. And, ooh, there's a weird shadow. So I found that for him. He was thrilled with it. And then, his dad died. It was very sudden. It was very traumatic. It was very terrible. I will not make any, like, light of it. It was not a good situation. It was very terrible and traumatic. And, I understand grief. I have not had to lose or bury a parent, so that's something I don't understand yet. It was hard. I had to, I was there with his mom and his grandma, and poor grandma had to go identify her own son's body. The whole thing was not a good situation. But he started drinking again and lying about it. Which grief I could have understood. If he would have said something like, I had wine with dinner, or I caught beers after work with my friends. I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have understood. Okay, he's not in the program like me, that's fine. And he went through a really, really big trauma. And I could have understood. Oh no. I don't know why he's doing that. But he was lying about it. And, you know, him nearly dying the year before was not a big deal, apparently. And he knew that my fiance passed away from organ failure related to alcohol abuse. He knew this. I was very honest with him when we started dating. I'm like, look, I'm really freaking damaged. Like, I am the dented can of peas with the peeling label at the grocery store. Like, you may not want me. What's inside is good, but there's still a lot of damage, you know? And he was lying about it. He came to pick me up one night and he was acting really weird. And I kept saying, are you drunk? Are you drunk? Are you drunk? He said, no, no, no. I know you think I am, but I'm not. But he was like stopping at a green light. And I almost got out of the car, but we were like literally down the road from his house. So his mom drove me home that night. Even though she herself was still grieving and going through stuff, and now her son was acting a fool. And, you know, I went over Another night, met his friends. It was great. The next night I was over there. Like, okay, I'd been there the day before. The next day I was there and I went to use the bathroom and it wouldn't flush. I thought I did something. So I lifted up the lid on the tank and there's one of those really, really big, like gallon, I guess, sizes of some kind of alcohol. Sailor Jerry-esque type. And it was in the tank. And there was about maybe 2 shots worth left. So I set it down on set the lid down on the seat. I went and got his mother. I'm like, you need to see this because he's been lying to both of us. And he showed it to him. And he's like, I know you think I've been drinking, but I haven't. I'm like, then what's this? And he really couldn't give us a straight answer because, of course, he's like, I found it in Dad's stuff. Like, okay, so why did you hide it? So I thought you would blame me for it. I'm like, okay, but if you found it in Dad's stuff, that's not how it would go. If you found it in Dad's stuff, that means it's his. He still couldn't really give us a straight answer. And so, again, his mother drove me home that night. And I didn't talk to him for about a day. I was really, really pissed, really mad. It's like, and I even told him, like a couple months before, we talked about, what would happen if we broke up or anything. I said, the only thing I can't handle is cheating and lying. And he's like, I'll never do that. Okay, great. I believed him. And I can't find my brow powder. So I believed him. And I thought, okay, yeah, he says he won't, then he won't. I need to trust him, right? No. No, you don't. I found my brow powder. So that's how things were. It was really edgy for a couple days. And then he's supposed to pick me up. At that time, I didn't work on, I worked like every other Friday. So it was a Friday that I happened to have off. And he was going to pick me up. We're going to go on a date to go catch Pokemon. That was going to be our date. And go play Pokemon Go at the mall. He got me into it. I was like, okay, cool, great date. Let's have fun. Where he lives and where I live, even if it was construction and bad traffic and whatever, it would not take him more than 15 minutes to get to my house. It's really literally maybe 10 minutes because he has to wait at all the lights. If it wasn't for the lights, it's like a 5-minute drive. He was supposed to pick me up at noon. He didn't show up until 1:45. And, whatever, I was annoyed, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And then he's like, oh, can I come in and see the dogs? Yeah, sure. Whatever, my dogs like him. And he came in the house and he started acting weird. Like really weird. Like my dog Lulu does not like to be picked up. She just doesn't like it. And he kept picking her up. And she didn't struggle or anything because she's a good girl, but... And he was talking with his eyes closed. Like having a whole conversation like this, talking to me with his eyes closed the whole entire time. And it was like, that wasn't normal behavior. And so he came and sat down next to me on the couch, and I couldn't smell anything, but he was still acting really strange. And I asked him, I was like, did you drink before you came over here? Because I know you think I've been drinking, but I haven't, which at this point we know is his signature I've been drinking phrase. And I was looking at him and I'm like, you're freaking drunk. You drove to my house drunk. And you expected me to get into the car with you and let you drive us somewhere. And I said, you gotta get out. You gotta leave. You can't be here doing this. And he got kind of upset and I was like, get out of my house. So I did. Threw him out and he left. And then, of course, I immediately panicked because I sent somebody who'd been drinking and driving on the road again. Called his mother. It was like, we might have to call the police. I don't know what happened. I was angry and I just threw him out. And so she called me when he got back. She's like, no, he's fine. He made it. He knows he fucked up. And I was like, yeah, he did. And that was the last time I ever saw him in person. And he's contacted me a couple times through text because I was trying to be understanding about his dad. I really was, because I know that's a horrible, horrible, traumatic, very sudden loss, which I don't know anything about. I haven't lost a parent. And I felt bad for his mom. She was a widow, and I went through that when I lost Jason. And Nana Olga likes me. So I was trying to be supportive. But you can be supportive without it costing you. You are no longer supportive when it drains you to be around somebody and it takes away from your mental health. And you don't have to remain in that. Because you don't. You really just don't have to remain in that. So I didn't. And he was kind of upset that I wasn't talking to him anymore. I didn't care at that point. I was like, dude, I don't know what's happening. I had surgery in February, and he was saying stuff like, well, you need me to come take care of you. I'm like, no, I don't. Well, it's not a major surgery. I don't need you for anything. He was trying to tell me that I was like going to be incapable and not be able to take care of myself after a surgery, which, you tell an Irish woman she can't do something, you better watch out, because she's going to show you all the ways she can and do it, you know, with the backflip. Pissed me the F off. And I was like, first of all, no. And second, it's like, I have my family. I don't need you. My mother's worked in the medical field my entire life. My mother is super, super knowledgeable about just about everything medical and like ways to take care of people after surgery, after the surgeries multiple people in my family have had. It's actually kind of funny because my mom and I are now the turning point for people in our family. Like, they'll call us or text us and be like, this person's having this surgery, and we're like, okay, well, here's what to expect. So yeah, he was like convinced I was gonna need him and was upset that I didn't call him after my surgery. My surgery also happened to be the day before my birthday, so I spent my birthday recovering from a surgery, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. The recovery wasn't bad at all. And so yeah, that was difficult to get through, but I got through it. And I was just convinced I was never going to put myself out there. I was like, man, if I got betrayed like this, you know, by someone who said they cared about me, and someone, we had a lot of things in common, we had a lot of stuff in common, and I thought things were great. I really did. I really, really did. I thought things were awesome. There's that eyeliner. But he proved me wrong every way. In every way. So, yeah. I was on the bench, or fence on the fence, about putting myself out there again. And things in my life started to shift, and I got back into my health and caring about my body. And for some reason, I felt like I needed to put myself out there. So yeah, that's where I got the pear ring. Try to meet people that way. That way, it's because I am so socially awkward, and it's so hard for me to walk up to people and introduce myself and, you know, act like a normal person, because let's just face it, I am not a normal person. And yeah, so I did that, and I joined a sort of a dating site, and I've met a couple people and just talking to people right now, and it's super awkward and super uncomfortable, but yeah. Alright, so if you made it at the end of this video, great, thank you for your support. And that is my story. And it is now 6:49 in the morning. I need to finish getting ready for work. But yeah. Okay. No, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.